You know, our friends at Squarespace say a dream is just a great idea that doesn't have a website yet. You can make it a reality with Squarespace. That's because they offer all sorts of ways for you to turn your cool idea into a new website. They have beautiful templates created by world-class designers, powerful e-commerce functionality that lets you sell anything online, and 24/7 award-winning customer support. So head on over to squarespace.com right now for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code STUFF to save 10% off your first purchase. Squarespace. Do it.
Brought to you by the reinvented 2012 Camry. It's ready. Are you? Welcome to Stuff You Should Know from HowStuffWorks.com.
Hey, and welcome to the podcast.
I'm flying.
Chuck Bryan is sleeping right now.
I'm flying.
He appears to be having some sort of dream, possibly a lucid dream.
I'm flying. It's great.
Are you awake, Chucky?
That's so lame.
It was.
Should we keep it?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. How was your sleep? You feeling refreshed?
I am. I'm feeling great and awake.
And you were flying just now?
I was.
Were you aware that you were flying in the dream and that maybe that's a little abnormal?
I was.
Well, Chuck, my friend, you were having what is called a lucid dream.
Wow. We should talk about that.
Yeah, we should. I mean, like, this is podcast gold. You just happen to be having a lucid dream.
So weird.
And both of us have the How Lucid Dreams Work article in front of us.
Right in front of us.
Written by Katie Lambert.
Yeah.
Who's actually an editor by day and apparently a lucid dream writer by night.
Right. And we should say that we have probably gotten more fan mail requests for Lucid Dream podcast than any other. I mean, literally dozens and dozens of requests for this. So we can't read down the list of names because I haven't kept them, but this is for all of you.
Yes, thanks to all of you for writing in and saying, do it. Now.
So we are.
Yep, this is it. Let's just get this over with, shall we?
I think so. We're going to teach you how to lucid dream, so you won't ever have to, you can do it yourself.
Which I find interesting. Are you planning on doing this?
I'm going to try it, for sure.
I'm going to try it, too, if I can remember. I get very tired before I sleep.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
So, back to the beginning, right?
All right, Chuck. So, while you were flying in your dream...
Yes.
The fact that you were aware that you were flying and that it was weird...
And aware that I was dreaming.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is what makes it a lucid dream.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. A lucid dream is a dream where we realize we're dreaming.
Right.
That's the hallmark of it, right?
But you're still dreaming, and you can control what happens in your dream.
That, my friend, is up for debate.
Oh, is it?
Yes. The control part is up for debate.
We'll be that way.
There's nobody... It's not me, buddy. I would
know.
neher say that to you if other people hadn't already.
You're right.
There is a big debate actually over not whether or not lucid dreams exist. That's
right.
taken as fact.
True.
But whether or not we can control what goes on in our dreams.
Sure.
Which is the other aspect of lucid dreaming.
Right.
Generally, like
what
did you adjust your yaw at any point in time while you're flying in your dream?
You have great yaw control.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Nice. So Chuck, let's kick this puppy off, shall we?
Okay.
Are you going to kick this puppy off? Lucid dreaming has been around for a while, Chuckers.
Yeah, I think they said they traced it back to the 1800s, or even before Aristotle, right?
What's funny is you just confused your research for body dysmorphic disorder.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, which we'll get to in about 20 minutes.
Right, or 2 or 3 days for you folks.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, Aristotle, much further back than the 1800s, wrote about lucid dreaming.
He did. He didn't call it lucid dreaming, but he described it in one of his writings. And apparently Tibetan Buddhists have been engaged in trying to control their dreams, lucid dreaming. Not quite as far back as Aristotle, if I'm incorrect, because I think Aristotle came, 1,000 or so years before Buddha. But they have something called dream yoga.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
It does. The name alone sounds pretty cool.
Have you ever done yoga?
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
I found it difficult.
It is. I don't like bending over.
Right. Plus, I think being a slightly overweight 38-year-old is not the time to start doing yoga.
Well, apparently there's never a wrong time to start, but you just kind of have to go in and go, I'm going to shoot a duck at some point in time.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
It's a young man's sport, if you ask me.
It is. It requires more yaw control than either one of us are capable of.
Downward dog.
So tell me a little bit about dream yoga, Chucker.
Josh, dream yoga, as you said, Buddhist. Why are you giggling? That's funny. That is your goal there is to probe your consciousness, and basically it's sort of like enlightenment. Bring yourself to a constant state of awareness.
Right. Because, I mean, if you're, which is a tenet of Buddhism, like just to see things as they are. Mm-hmm. But why waste all of your, conscious awareness on, I guess, waking life? Why, take time off while you're sleeping?
Yeah.
So apparently dream yoga is actually like being cognizant that you're dreaming.
Right.
And then saying, okay, why am I dreaming about this? Or, why is that dog attacking me rather than, curling up in my feet?
Right. So it's a goal for constant awareness, and they figured, hey, why take the night off? Let's just carry this right into sleep.
Right. Because that's what Buddhists do. They have a work ethic like you would not believe, my friend. How do you feel about that? About people going up to like the mountains and just meditating for their entire lives? Productive member of society or no?
Oh, yeah. Why not?
What are they doing? That's the most egocentric pursuit a human can engage in.
You think?
Sequestering yourself from the rest of humanity to achieve nirvana or enlightenment.
I love it.
And just, probably dying the moment you get it.
Uh-huh.
What's the point? What have you done? As a social animal, which humans are,
right,
by nature, you have brought nothing to the table. You probably didn't even bother to reproduce while you were up there.
Well, I think there are many paths, my friend, in that you don't have to be a contributing member of society to be validated as a human.
You're a hippie.
I think I'm just jealous. I would love to spend the rest of my life on a mountaintop somewhere.
Oh, my God. I would get so bored. Mm-hmm. I would drive myself crazy if I had to be alone in a cave.
Yeah, see, that's not
with
your
myself.
bag.
I would go nuts, dude.
Yeah.
All right, so that's dream yoga, which is also called non-dual awareness.
Right.
Right?
It's another name for it.
Yeah, which mystics like to call it, but it's essentially the same thing. It's exploring what's going on in your dreams and trying to figure out why, which actually kind of falls into one camp of the explanation for dreams.
Right.
It's pretty much split down the middle between physiological and psychological.
Uh-huh.
That would subscribe to the psychological camp. That when we dream, we're basically our innermost fears, desires. You know how when they say like a drunk person, the words of a drunk man are the thoughts of a sober man?
Yeah, in vino veritas.
I think, is that right?
Well, I mean, similar concept.
My goodness, Chuck.
You like that? In wine, there's truth. Of course, we all know that.
Gotcha, sure. Man, I'm impressed with you right now.
Because I spoke a dead language?
Yes. It's not dead, though. You're going to get us some listener mail.
I know.
So the psychological camp, which was spearheaded by Sigmund Freud,
right,
said that our dreams are trying to tell us something, essentially. Your mind is telling you something like, hey, you eat way too many donuts because your mother neglected to breastfeed you. Something like that.
Sure.
Especially along the Freudian lines, because everything was about sex, and specifically having sex with your mother to Freud.
Yeah, a lot of it came back to that, for sure.
Although he did say sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
That is true as well.
But no, to him, anything that was even slightly phallic in nature represented a phallus, and anything that was an opening or a hole or something like that was vaginal in nature. He saw the world very much in black and white.
He did.
And it was the product of his society, the uber-repressed Victorian society.
Right, true.
So, I mean, his theories were kind of dated.
Yeah, I would guess so.
And actually,
did he lucid dream, or?
Not that I am aware of.
Okay, I'm curious.
You know who did?
Sure.
A Dutch psychiatrist named Frederick van Eden. He's the guy who came up with the word lucid dreaming, and he was actually very much into his dreams. He kept count of them, and he found that he flew in a lot of them, and apparently that he could control them, and this is where the term lucid dreaming came from.
Pretty cool. He also said that there were 9 different kinds of dreams, and only 9.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that list. I didn't see that list anywhere.
I know.
But I could see that.
Yeah.
My dreams are generally I could categorize into 9 different groups.
I find the number 9 daunting. That's a lot of different dreams I have to have at night. I don't want that kind of responsibility.
Right.
You know?
Well, I don't think you always have to have all 9. I think that's just the broad category they would fall under.
Okay.
Like you may always have dreams that you're naked at work, which means whatever. I'm not even sure what that means.
I don't either. What do you think that means?
I don't know. I mean, when you go to dream books and things like that, there's usually a bunch of different conflicting theories. I used to have a dream that my teeth were either falling out or shattering, and I've heard different explanations for that.
You were joking me.
Have you had that one too? It's a common one.
It's just it's that It's that jamais vu again. No, it's not. It's deja vu. No, it's not. It's you bringing up something that's already been brought up.
Have I said this before?
Dude, this happens a lot, Chuck. Eggs Benedict.
Right.
Mo Betta.
Okay.
I mean, come on, Chuck.
I'm sorry. I have no explanation for this.
So I think if you are having a lucid dream where you're in control and you still show up to work naked, does that make you a sicko?
Yes.
Okay.
For sure.
Well, Chuck, lucid dreaming and the fact that it's even a concept that's being discussed right now, the only reason we schlubs are talking about it is because of a guy named Stephen LaBerge.
Yeah, he's kind of the leading researcher for this. He's a Stanford guy, Stanford man.
Yeah.
Psychophysiologist.
Yeah, which I
official
imagine
term.
you get some schooling to get that title.
Yeah, probably some dark days in that man's life with that kind of title.
Yeah, and he got one from Stanford, which legitimizes him to a certain extent, in my opinion.
Right. He calls himself a dream sailor.
Which delegitimizes him to a certain extent, in my opinion.
I would call myself a psychophysiologist.
Yeah,
personally.
no doubt.
Yeah, he's the leading man in this category, and he runs workshops actually where he will teach you how to lucid dream. And apparently they ain't cheap.
No, a few $1,000s, right?
Yeah, and he'll also say that, and I'm not saying this guy's a scammer, of course. It might be completely valid, but he says, sometimes it'll take you several months of this to...
several workshops.
Right, several paychecks.
Right.
To learn how to lucid dream.
And you can either go to Dr. LaBerge's lucid dreaming workshop, or you can just read this article, because there's some actual methods of teaching how to lucid dream.
Right, we're not going to do that right now, though, are we?
No, I think we should talk a little bit about dreaming, part of the brain. Remember I said that there's two camps, psychological,
Yeah.
right, and then the physiological.
Sure.
The physiological kind of came onto the scene in 1977, I believe, came on like gangbusters.
Well, Josh, I think before we can talk about how to lucid dream, we should talk about what lucid dreaming actually is on the not biological, but
The physiological side?
Physiological side.
Yeah, that's the other camp. There's the psychological, and then there's the physiological as well.
So
Right.
we do know that lucid dreaming occurs during REM sleep, which
Right.
is the fifth sleep stage,
Right.
when your body is just basically motionless.
Your body's literally paralyzed.
Right, figuratively paralyzed.
And you don't have any sensory input as far as anybody knows.
Right.
And you can't move except for your eyelids.
Yeah, your eyelids. And this Stephen character has researched, set up studies where they would have a pre-planned eye movement, correct? When
Yeah.
you feel yourself falling into a lucid dream,
Right.
that you would signal the researcher, hey, I'm having a lucid dream now.
Right. So LaBerge and some of his crew hooked up some people who I guess reportedly had lucid dreams to an electroencephalogram and measured their brain activity, the electrical activity in their brains, and then prearranged a signal. I didn't. Did you get the impression what the signal was? But like maybe
No.
it fluttered or something like that.
I don't know, maybe a certain pattern of eye flutters or something. I don't know.
Basically, it was somebody communicating from their dream state.
Yeah, pretty creepy.
They were saying, "I'm having a lucid dream right now." That is super creepy and super cool.
Yeah.
But that's the closest. That's the only evidence that we have. The only physical evidence that we have that there is such thing as lucid dreams.
Right, but it actually worked, right?
It did.
Hello, people listening to Stuff You Should Know. Are you hiring for your business? Well, every business needs great people and a better way to find them, because let's face it, hiring people is really challenging. And posting your job online and praying that the right people see it is not the way to go. That's why we want to talk to you about ZipRecruiter.
Yeah, ZipRecruiter figured there is a smarter way to hire people, so they built a platform that finds the right job candidates for you. ZipRecruiter learns what you're looking for and then identifies people with the right experience, and then get this, they invite them to apply to your job. And these invitations have revolutionized how you find your next hire. It's a pretty cool setup.
That's right. 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate, very important word there, through the site in just one day. And that is remarkable.
Yeah, and ZipRecruiter also highlights the strongest applications you receive, so you never miss a great match. It's amazing.
That's right. Right now it gets even better. Listeners to Stuff You Should Know can try ZipRecruiter for free. That is right, for free. Just go to ziprecruiter.com/stuff. That's ziprecruiter.com/stuff. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Work, and that's not really supposed to happen, Chuck. Like we're basically, our brain's supposed to be shut down, or at least the part of the brain that is capable of sending a message from the dream world,
Right.
To the waking life world where a bunch of people are standing around you in white lab coats, like watching your eyelids.
Good point.
Thanks.
Very astute.
Thanks. So, Chuck, what was that?
I don't know.
What's going on in the actual brain that could explain lucid dreaming? Because we should be basically slaves to our dream states.
Well, there's a doctor at Berkeley, this Matthew Walker
Ooh
character.
la la.
Dr. Matthew Walker.
He's a New York cardiologist.
Is he really?
No.
Oh. He's the director of a sleep lab in California at Berkeley, and I think this theory kind of makes sense to me. The lateral prefrontal cortex is the part of the brain that deals with logic.
Right.
And what he thinks is during REM sleep, this part of the brain is supposed to be asleep, but he thinks it's possible that it actually wakes up. So your dream state and logic are both firing at the same time.
Right.
So the dreamer is able to kind of recognize that you're actually dreaming.
Right.
That makes
Because
sense.
if the logical part of your brain is working, you'd be like, I don't really fly.
Right, of course.
I must be dreaming.
Or I'm falling now and I'm going to die.
Yes. Or
Another common dream.
how about apparently lucid dreams are often sexy dreams.
True. That's
Imagine
what I
that
hear.
level of control.
Erotic in nature.
Yeah.
I have a lot of celebrity dreams where I'm friends with some of my celebrity heroes. Wow. I have them all the time. Well, not all the time. I have like 5 or 6 really detailed good ones a year that I'm like buddying around with Larry David or Gene Ween.
Bo and Luke Duke.
Yeah, Bo and Luke Duke,
Yeah.
the 3 of us.
Yeah.
I'm riding shotgun.
I'll bet. Yeehaw.
I do, though. My wife, Emily, always cracks up. She thinks it's funny.
So, Chuck, let's undermine Stephen LeBerge's thousands of dollars per workshop. Come on.
And,
Teach people how to have lucid dreams.
okay, let's do it.
At the very least, we're going to give you a few techniques that you could try. We make absolutely no claims that this will work, so don't even try to sue us
No.
if it doesn't.
But it's worth a shot. I think it makes sense. The first thing you have to be good at is dream recall.
Yep.
That's kind of like the setup you should do is keep a dream diary, they say, a dream journal, and keep some paper and a pen next to your bed. And when you wake up, write down what you were dreaming, even if it's in the middle of the night. And as you do that, you'll become more attuned to the process, and you'll kind of train yourself to remember your dreams.
Yeah.
So that's a good start.
Yeah. And another good technique, I guess, is mnemonic induction of lucid dreaming. You heard of this one?
MILD, mild.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lame.
This is one of LeBerge's techniques.
Yeah.
So apparently he's given it away.
Sure.
Basically, what you do is when you wake up from a dream, you try to recall it.
Mm-hmm.
Important. And then as you're going back to sleep, this apparently would work best in the middle of the night.
Right.
When you go back to sleep, you keep reminding yourself that you're about to start dreaming. Pretty soon you're going to dream again, and you actually want to go back to the last dream you had.
Right.
So you're controlling things from the outset.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get to that dream again, you're going to start. You want to actively look for what LeBerge calls dream signs. The dream sailor calls these dream signs.
Deep detail, right?
Right. Well, like if you have wings or you're flying.
Right.
So you're looking for these kind of things, and you remind yourself that you're dreaming, and that apparently puts you in the driver's seat of your dreams and can give you lucid dreams that you're in control of.
I would have called myself the Dream Weaver. You really
I would
missed out
never
there.
call you that.
Okay. They say, and this was a little extra research, Josh, I'm going to lay on you. There's some old Mexican and Indian techniques in their cultures where you can look at your hands during a dream. Have you heard that one?
No.
Apparently, if you look at your hands during a dream, that's a signal that you can take control of it from that point on. But I guess you would have to be in control to look at your hands in the dream, so I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
But I'd be more willing to trust some like ancient culture practice than this crackpot out in California.
Well, they have more staying power.
yeah,
Right?
for sure.
Yeah, they've
So
been
that's.
around for
I
a
mean,
while.
I'm going to try that one. I'm going to try and see if I can look at my hands because I don't notice if I even see my hands in my dreams.
Well, my all-time favorite lucid dreaming technique is called reality testing.
Yeah, lay it on me.
And it actually falls in line with the Buddhist dream yoga, where basically you walk around all day going, I'm in my waking state, I'm in conscious reality, Like when I turn this doorknob, this door is going to open, and it's just going to be a regular room behind it because I can predict things because this world is based on rationality and logic, right? So you basically just remind yourself that you're not dreaming all day in the hopes that when you start to dream, you will be aware of the separation, the border between our dream state and waking life. And you can carry this over and say, now I'm dreaming.
Right.
When I open this door, there's going to be like an 8-headed dog on the other side.
Do you have to speak like that in your dreams?
I've heard it helps.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. That's how I talk when I'm dreaming or when I'm reminding myself of anything. Like, no, I've got to take the garbage out tonight.
Right.
Or, yeah.
Well,
I
that's some
should
dream.
really not drink this evening. That kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I know that's a dream. Nova Dreamer, you want to talk about this thing?
I guess.
This is an actual contraption that the same doctor in California, LaBerge, has built, I guess. And it is, Katie describes it as a cross between a sleep mask and goggles. So you wear this puppy when you go to sleep, and what it does is when it knows you're in REM sleep, sensors track your eye movements to let it know, and then it shines a light in your eye.
Right. It's kind of like looking at your hands.
Yeah.
That ancient technique, but you have a reliable reminder.
Right. So it shines a light in your eye, and in your dream, I mean, I guess you stay asleep. I personally would wake up if someone's shining a light in my eye.
You'd be like, what the?
Yeah, exactly. And so that's the signal. You know you're dreaming at the time, and you just take it from there.
Yeah.
Flying.
Can we be done with this now?
Well, I think
Dreamweaver?
the $25,000 question, Josh, have you ever had a lucid dream?
I don't, you know what, Chuck? I don't remember my dreams very often.
Really?
Yes, I have once.
Let's hear it.
Do you really want to hear it?
Well, a truncated version, sure.
The 22-minute version?
Yeah.
I was basically, I had a theme song.
Okay.
I wasn't actually a pimp, but like kind of like in the very slangy version of the word pimp, like it just kind of walking along like, what's up?
Yeah,
right?
you're sure.
My dog ran past me, but she was a balloon dog, like a balloon animal.
Cool.
And that was about it. That was about all I remembered. But it was one of the very few times where I was ever like, this is cool. And that to me is about the same as I'm dreaming.
Right.
Like
it's
I was
the
aware that
realization.
I was enjoying like this dream.
Sure.
While I was in the dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's probably the closest I've had to a lucid dream.
Ask me.
Well, Chuck, is it time for listener mail?
Oh.
Chuck, tell me about your lucid dream, buddy.
Well, I don't have one specifically, but it does happen to me from time to time.
Okay.
Where I'll be aware that I'm dreaming and really dig in the dream and manipulating where I'm going in the dream. And
Where do you go?
well, wherever
Disney World?
wherever I feel like at the time.
So where? Provence?
I'm a dream sailor, so you can't box me in. Wherever the high seas take me. So I've lucid dreamt, and I also am pretty good at waking up from a dream that I was really enjoying and falling back asleep and going back into that dream.
You just love to tease yourself, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a light sleeper, so.
Have you ever heard that if you tell people about your dreams, they'll, like if you have a nightmare and you tell somebody the nightmare in detail, like you won't have it again?
I have not.
What's up with that?
And I've had plenty of recurring dreams, too.
Oh, well, if you ever have a dream that you're saddled with, a nightmare or something like that, the
Try it
sooner
out.
you tell somebody about it, the more likely you are to not have it the next time you go to sleep.
Dr. Clark speaks.
Yeah, that's it for me.
We're going to do a big dream podcast at some point.
Yeah,
we were
fear
going
not.
to do that, but
This, the How Dreams Work article is thick and
Yes.
voluminous and filled with stats and numbers, and Chuck and I are drooling over it. So look
So,
for
yeah.
how dreaming works in the future.
absolutely.
Until then, Chuck, let's do listener mail.
Josh, I'm going to call this Stuff We Should Know, and I also have a special little shout-out at the end of it.
Oh, really?
It has nothing to do with the mail.
Okay.
So this is from Mason in Ames, Iowa. And remember when we talked about the carbon dioxide pipelines and how there's never been any accident deaths and that kind of thing?
Right.
Or there's been accidents but no fatalities.
Wait, hold on. How did it go? Let's listen.
We're talking between 1986 and 2006, there's only been 12 CO2 pipeline leaks with no injuries. And
None?
None. Zip. And over the same period, more than 5,000 accidents and 107 fatalities with liquid petroleum pipelines.
Right. So, whoop, whoop. It sounds like CO2 pipelines are way safer, but
There's
again,
a lot
there's a
fewer.
lot fewer. Yeah.
Boy, that was a good one.
That was awesome. Whoop, whoop, indeed.
So Mason says, greetings, Joshers and Chuckarino. Which is a little casual, I thought.
I thought so,
Since we don't
too.
know. Mason,
That's
clean up your
Mr.
act.
Chuck to you, Mason.
He says he just listened to the CCS carbon capture podcast.
Oh, he's using CCS to impress his friends.
Yeah, and he actually wrote down abbreviation, which I thought was kind of funny.
I wonder if he's... I can't say.
He grew up in a small town called Muleshoe, Texas.
Sweet.
And he says that should make my listener mail read-worthy already, and he's right. But he said he grew up 13 miles west of Muleshoe, and about 5 miles from our house there was a station on a carbon dioxide pipeline that tapped the CO2 and stored it in those huge cylindrical tanks. And it was shipped on big semi-trucks from that plant.
Yeah.
So he says way back in 2002, there was a catastrophic failure in one of the tanks, and it actually killed a worker and injured 3 others. So the explosion shook all the dishes in our house from 5 miles away. That's pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
And his father, who was an Air Force pilot, said he initially thought the noise was a sonic boom from a jet. So he said it didn't result from a leaking pipeline, but if there would have been no pipeline, there would have been no accident.
Yeah. Well, sorry about that, Mason. Sorry we overlooked the local tragedy there.
In Muleshoe, I'm surprised we didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
And now, Josh, for our special little shout-out.
What is it, Chuck?
This is to Sully, who is...
Sounds like one of your pals.
yeah, it's a little kid. His mom wrote in. His mom, Kristen, wrote in from Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Jerry was a big fan of this email as well. And if you read them, you would be as well.
Uh-huh.
And Sully is Sullivan. He just sounds like a really cool little kid. He's about my nephew's age, 11 years old, I
Noah?
think. Yeah, my cousin, my nephew Noah,
Yeah.
who is a very cool, smart kid. And they are both big fans of Mythbusters, and they're really smart and into school and stuff.
Sure.
And Kristen just wrote us in to thank us, and I'm not going to read her email, but we just wanted to say hi to Sully, and thanks for listening, little buddy. Stay in school, keep studying,
Drink your milk.
keep up what you're doing, because your mom says you're a really cool, groovy kid. He loves Modest Mouse.
Right on, Sully.
At 11, I mean, come on, and They
That's
Might Be
pretty cool.
Giants.
Nice.
And I believe my nephew Noah is a big They Might Be Giants fan as well. So,
Well, sweet.
so we
Two
just
cool
wanna,
kids.
Yeah, I want to say hi and thanks for the support and keep listening.
Yeah. Thank you, Sully. And thank you, Mason. Thank you to everybody who listens to us. If you want to send us an email describing how you built the birdhouse in your soul, you can send that to stuffpodcast@howstuffworks.com.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com. Want more How Stuff Works? Check out our blogs on the howstuffworks.com homepage. Brought to you by the reinvented 2012 Camry. It's ready. Are you?
Mondays after The Voice. From the producer of Grey's Anatomy and Scandal, it's Good Girls. Christina Hendricks, Retta, and Mae Whitman star as 3 best friends who suddenly find themselves desperately in need of cold, hard cash. So they take matters into their own hands and pull a one-time heist and score more money and more trouble than they ever bargained for. Time magazine raves, Good Girls is the perfect show for this moment. Don't miss Good Girls right after America's favorite, The Voice, with new coach, 3-time Grammy winner Miss Kelly Clarkson. Mondays on NBC and streaming now on the NBC app.